Del Rio, Texas. Rob Wade and Robert Garza. Two guys who dive. This episode of Two Guys Who Dive recorded live 11 January 2014. Episode 92 by Belize. And here we are once again, our second episode of the new year, another episode of Two Guys Who Dive, and I'm your host, Rob Wade. And right beside me is...
Bobby Flamingo.
That's right. The elusive.
The elusive.
Ever sought after.
Yes.
Women want him, men want to be him.
Oh, I don't know about that. I do not know about that, okay? Talk like that gets people in trouble.
That's
you know?
true. That's true. That's true.
For the
well,
guys,
your woman wants you.
For the guys, that is.
Your woman wants you.
Yeah.
That's good. So how was your week?
It was
back to school, right?
Yeah, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. After being off for 2 weeks, 3, because I was sick the first week. Being off 3 whole weeks and just really laying up in bed, with bronchitis and the flu and everything else. It was rough getting back out there. I'm gonna tell you, I was really looking forward to the end of the week. I really was.
Just get me through it.
Yeah. No problems, thank God.
Yeah.
It wasn't probably until Thursday when, we had a little bit of drama, but it was actually
really,
it was quickly resolved.
Good.
Probably 20 minutes worth of work, I want to say.
Okay.
So it was it was a good week, but it was just
no
rough.
Farm animals were hurt in the
no.
dealing with
No farm animals. We gotta thank the Lord for that one.
Nice.
How was your week?
It was good. It was, of course, a half a week for me because I was still eating up some of my leave on Monday and Tuesday, so went back to work on Wednesday, and tons of stuff to catch up on, and of course, just there's some people who always have drama.
Yeah, and I know the type.
Yeah, they're going to complain about everything, and so you just have to bite the bullet, bite your tongue, be pleasant, and just do what you can to fix their issues, or at least help them understand that what they think is an issue really isn't an issue. It's just they have a preference that you can't accommodate. When you work for the government, here's the thing. And this kind of annoys me, but it's in the regulations. The regulations basically state that when it comes to IT equipment, you get the absolute bare minimum necessary to do your job. There is no shooting for what might be optimum to help you do your job better or more efficiently. Mm-hmm. It's what's barely necessary. I mean, it's actually codified that way. And that frustrates me as, I don't have to have the latest and greatest. And most people don't to get the job done. But what you try to do is find that sweet spot of value where whatever the software or piece of equipment is that gets you the most bang for your buck. It may be better than the bottom line, the bottom of the barrel, but it's not top of the line. Mm-hmm. Does it get you? Does it enable you to do the work you need to do with the most efficiency without being wasteful, overkill?
Right.
So it just frustrates me. I as a taxpayer and also somebody who works for the federal government, I like to see efficiency and prudent use of tax dollars. And when you have things codified like that, it's by bureaucrats who don't understand that there is a smart way to approach what we spend taxpayer dollars on. And unfortunately, some people coming from the outside from the private sector, they may be used to having top of the line stuff, depending on the company they worked for.
Right.
And then they come here and they're working at an Air Force base and, well, this is substandard. And I had much better this, that, and the other thing where I worked before. And of course, in my head, I'm thinking, well, then go back there if it was so great.
Right.
Did you not really have an idea what you were letting yourself in for when you came to work for Department of Defense? So, dealing with those kind of people, and, you understand, you have your own frustrations, and a lot of times they're preaching to the choir when they tell you to complain about that stuff. But all you can do is find the right words to just basically say, there.
Okay, just calm down.
That's right. Take it down a notch or two. Well, if you can see here, let me switch to my camera. We have our little foster dog here. We've been calling her Alex because that's what the people who first found her named her. A Pet's Wish actually named her Avery, and that's what they keep referring to her as. But she's been a sweetheart, little temporary addition to our family. And, we've kind of seen her through recovery. But Monday, when we go for our regular evening to volunteer over to Pet's Wish, we're bringing her back because the couple is going to officially adopt her. So
that's good.
Yeah, it is awesome. So what they're going to be doing is when we take her back, Alex/Avery back to a Pet's Wish, they're gonna do the final shots, the rabies shots, all that stuff, and microchip the dog, which is good.
Which is good.
And then they'll be working with the couple to fill out all the paperwork to adopt her. Then we're going to turn around and be doing the paperwork to adopt another dog that a friend of ours happens to be fostering. She was fostering at first because they needed somebody to foster.
Right.
And then this one, kind of came out as an all points bulletin on on Facebook. And they asked us hey, can you foster this one? Because we just don't have room, because it was packed. And I said, all right, even though we were going to be adopting this other dog, we'll go and foster this one. So it's been kind of one of those, we're fostering this dog, another person is fostering another dog. That's the dog we actually want, but we're taking care of this one till a couple,
right.
Musical chairs with dogs. So, we're going to miss her because she really has blended well with the pack here, but it's the nature of the beast, and just we're hoping that this couple really does treat her as well or better than the way we've treated this thing. So,
and the dog that you're going to be fostering, what kind of dog is it?
A dachshund, of course, yeah. And it's a black and tan.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have another black and tan, smooth coat dachshund, just a wee thing. Just old enough. Matter of fact, when we first saw that dog, which was before Christmas, she had just gotten spayed. So, so she was still young. So that'll be good. Having back to four. Yeah. If you follow them on Facebook, a Pet's Wish, you just see all sorts of animals I just saw another one showing up that somebody's lost their dog. I'm like, people.
Yeah.
Proper securing of your dog with collar and tags so we can help find them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking before the show about internet.
Oh, yes.
Speeds.
Yes.
Why don't you share what's been going on with you, and then I'll share my adventure.
First I thought it was my router.
Right.
I've been losing connectivity, and then I have to go reboot
the router or the modem.
The modem and the router.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then it starts working back, and then
now real quick, don't want to sideline you, but is the modem one you bought or the one that is leased with your package?
No, the one that's leased with the package.
Just checking.
And the thing is, though, it was the one that has like the phone, the cable.
Oh, you've got the whole package.
Well,
service.
no, see, that was the thing when I first had Roadrunner, I actually was one of the beta testers for Del Rio. So
nice.
they gave me the little thin little Motorola one back.
Like that one?
No, actually, not
the
like
one
that.
up on the counter.
No, that's actually a monstrosity compared to the one that
Wow.
that I had. It was the small little one.
Okay.
They set it up, no problem. I never had an issue.
Now, and when was this?
Oh, before Roadrunner even became available here in Del Rio.
Okay.
I had it 6 months before it actually went
Nice.
public. They had it at the base, they had it at the lake, and I was actually the two. I was one of two for South Del Rio.
Okay.
That was testing.
Gotcha.
And it was pretty cool. Well, it was real fast, and then of course, I mean, it was blazing, and then
Of course, there wasn't a lot of people on there.
there was nobody on there, so it was really fast. But once everybody started subscribing and getting it, I did notice. But still, it was still fast. Here recently, I've just noticed that it's I've been having a reboot, and I thought, okay, it's the router.
Right.
I'm having trouble with the router because it's wireless. But no, it's I'm starting to think that it's the actual cable modem box. Well, I'm gonna probably have to call Time Warner and because we no longer have the cable, we don't have digital cable anymore, and we don't have the phone, so I don't need that big box.
Right.
So I just need something just for the internet.
So, what are you watching TV with?
We have DirecTV.
Okay.
Yeah, we have satellite.
Yeah, we're satellite. We use Dish. Same diff. It's
Yes.
just I like it better.
Yeah,
I like it better.
Cool. I never had a problem with the cable. It's just you have to get a package deal,
Right.
to be able to afford it.
Right.
Because if once their promotion's over, man, we're paying like exactly.
Yeah.
So we're like, nah, we're gonna go this way, and it's been working out perfect. So.
Oh wow. Cool. Well, speaking of that, and you've got just the normal.
I got basic road. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, for the longest time, we've had the business class service here. The main driver for that was I needed the static IP address. And unfortunately, in order to get the static IP address, you can't just pay extra as a residential service. You have to have the business package. So started out with their bottom business package. Then when we started doing the podcast, I discovered I needed to have a better upload speed. So upgraded that package about 3 years ago. Well, now that we have the Xbox One, and that thing is a media hog, if you want to watch Netflix and Vudu and Hulu and the various TV channel apps that are on there, as well as just regular TV and YouTube and all that stuff, it puts a pretty good load on your network. Well, I started noticing a lot of buffering or dropouts or retries.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Well, and this is business class, so I'm thinking I've got a 10 and 2 package, 10 megabits per second down and 2 up. The 2 up was critical because you only get like half going up for sure if you've got the basic residential. So I did some ran some software on my machines, as well as used some various websites that let you see the traffic and the speeds, and if you're all over the map as far as consistency of speed, and everything was pointing to the modem being the bottleneck.
Yeah,
because if I did stuff strictly point to point within my network, because I've got 2 routers, I got 2 wireless routers here in series, blazing on devices that support the full gigabit per second network, flying maximum. Okay, so that it wasn't internal, so everything was pointing to the modem. Well, it's a generic kind of modem, like a Zytel or something like that. So I finally tracked down who makes this silly thing and found some specs on it. it barely supports what is called DOCSIS 2, which is basically a set of protocols and capacities, way of handling traffic. It's kind of it's a efficiency, how it's going to manipulate determining what types of traffic and everything. Basically, it translates to how well it's going to work the speeds. No matter what your service is giving you, they could give you the fattest pipe, but if you're driving a Yugo, that's as fast as you're going on this big old highway that you got to yourself.
So pretty much, it doesn't matter how big of a pipe you have, the modem just doesn't support it.
It just doesn't push it.
Yeah.
So did some more research, and of course I knew that we'd for past few years have been modems have been moving up to the DOCSIS 3, which is it's many times faster. And so I went on to Time Warner Internet's site to look at, okay, well, what kind of modems are compatible with their system? Well, they list all these different ones, and one of them is the Motorola SB6141, which is, it's not the wireless one, because I got plenty of wireless. I don't need wireless. I just need the modem.
Right.
But it's full DOCSIS 3. It's 8 times faster than the regular modems. I'm like, and it's optimized for media, for gaming, for Netflix, all that stuff. I'm like, perfect. It's exactly what I need. Walmart carries them, real inexpensive, so I got it. Because their website listed that one as a compatible unit. So I'm like, okay, great. So I get the darn thing, and I bring it home. Then I go to the next step on their website. It says, okay, here's what you got to do. Step 1, buy the modem. Step 2, connect it. Step 3, call this number and then give us the MAC address so that they can see it and activate it on the network. So I call them, and that started a 2-day long. Thankfully, I was off work, but it started a 2-day long juggernaut. So I'm talking to this technician. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't use that modem." What do you mean I can't use that modem? It says on your website, this is one of the compatible modems. No, we don't allow user purchase modems on the business class internet service. I said, wait a minute, why? And so he tries to give this spiel about, well, it's our policy. I said, well, policies can be changed. That's ridiculous. Your website says that this modem is compatible. Well, that's only for residential. I'm like, it's the same pipe. It's the same wire. Nobody's coming out and swapping a wire. All I'm doing is giving you a different MAC address, and you're going to tell your system to allow this MAC address to be used on that in this residence.
Right.
No, you don't understand. If you use if we allow people to use their own modems, then you may have access to our proprietary network information. I said, wait a minute. What is it about your modem that is different from another Motorola modem that I somehow magically have access to your proprietary information? Well, it has nothing to do with the modem. Now, wait a minute. So he's giving me this spiel that he's defeating his own argument. He's saying if you're allowed to use your own modem, it gives you access to a proprietary information, but it has nothing to do with the modem. I said, do you understand? You're lying through your teeth. Well, I'm sorry, sir. No, I'm not. I'm like, no, listen, I'm a network technician. I'm an administrator. I deal with Cisco routers. I deal with modems. I deal with routers. I happen to know that is not true, what you're telling me. But he wouldn't get off of it. He absolutely was going to fight me on this. So I said, fine, you're losing a business class customer. So he transfers me over to the residential side. And then it starts getting interesting. So I told him I want to drop the business class and go to residential because I'm not happy with the speeds I'm getting because the modem that they've given me is not capable of faster speeds, and now I have a higher demand. And oh, by the way, I no longer need the static IP address because I'm no longer hosting my own email server and my own web server. So I talk at length with these people, and they say, well, they start through the whole process. They get all the information. They get the MAC address for the new modem and everything. I mean, they're ready to flip the switch. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't turn this on for you. Why? Because our system shows that you have service there. I said, I understand that. I'm canceling my business class to get residential. Excuse me. So, but she said, we can't cancel it. Why? The business class people have to do. What? You don't talk to each other? No, I'll transfer you. So they transfer me back over to the business class to the section called retention.
Retention says it all.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to keep you.
Absolutely. So I talk to the retention people over the business side, and they said, let me shorten this section of it. Basically, I went back and forth to different people between technicians on that side and the retention people and the sales people on that side. This is constantly just bouncing from person to person, all in the same call. This is like all afternoon the first day. And finally got them to, they had to email me a piece of paperwork to basically sign digitally acknowledging that I was telling them to turn off the static IP. They couldn't just do it all as one thing. They had to do that separately. So I sent that, and they said, okay, well, then we'll call you back with, once we filed this, we'll call you back with the next step so we can cancel your service. Well, they didn't call back, so I called them and spoke to somebody, and they said, okay, well, so do you already have residential service? No, I'm trying to get residential service set up. So I ultimately, by the end of that day, I was handed to the final person who was going to who said, okay, I understand what's going on. Let me give you to the actual technician who's going to send you the last piece of paperwork that says you're canceling your business class. Started to transfer me, then bounced it back and said, I'm sorry, they're gone for the day. So I'm ready to punch somebody at this point. So first thing the next morning, I call, and I'm having to re-explain this every time, what I'm trying to do. So, okay, so we need to get you to the people so finally they got me to the people who could send me the paperwork to cut off business class. So they started that process, and they said, now it'll take a little bit to show in the system. We'll call you right back. So that way the residential side can do their bit, because they can't do anything as long as I still show service. Well, over the process of the next 4 hours, going from person to person, it turns out when the business class side filed all the paperwork and everything and they put it in their system that I'd canceled my service. Their system does not talk to the residential side. It's two completely different systems. They don't share information. It's basically kind of a sneaker net that goes between the two, that they say, okay, we got all this stuff, batched information. We got to pump this into the residential side so it turns the right flags on. So painfully, I then go to the residential side and I say, okay, here's the information. You already have me in the beginnings of getting residential. Well, we can see all of the notes of this juggernaut attached to your phone number. It came down to, I finally got back to the business side because nothing in the residential side said that I was allowed to, I still had service. So I finally got a really smart guy on the business tech side. He said, all right, I am so sorry for all this. I'm going to follow you through the entire process to get you the service that you want. And I'm thinking, that's what several people have said, and I've been bounced off several times. He says, no, we are going hand in hand through this entire process. So he said, let me lead the talking, And if there's any other questions that they need to ask as we go, you can go ahead and fill those in. But because of his position, he could punch through some things. So we start then walking. It was as if telephonically we were going from door to door in an office building to talk to each of the right people. So finally, it turns out the problem was I was requesting to cancel service business side and initiate service residential side to the same physical location using the same phone number. And that's what they had a problem with. Their system, the residential side, saw my address and phone number as a commercial site.
Oh, okay.
So they actually asked me for practically the legal description of my location. Well, what major roads is this by? And I explained we're at the T of 14th and R. Okay, so they had to add that into the system so they could then create the residential site for it. Then finally, the last piece was we got this mid-level person on the residential side, and he said, okay, no problem. I've got access to the part of the system that lets me change this site from commercial to residential. Give me a second. So he puts us on hold, and I'm talking with the guy who's carrying me through all of this, and he comes back. He says, okay, you are now a residential site. Everything else is the same. Now, here's what we showed that you were requesting. I said, well, what I had originally requested, or speaking to the salesperson from residential, was I needed to get a minimum of 2 megabits per second up. Mm-hmm. Whatever package comes with that, and then the download speed. And then he said, okay, we have these tiers. They have the turbo, they have an extreme, and then they have this ultimate.
Yeah.
Well, the extreme has the 2 up, 30 down.
Wow.
Yeah. For $74. Half of what I was paying for business class with only 10 and 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then the guy tells me, he says, well, that you were quoted 74? I said, yes. He said, well, actually, you could have the ultimate for 64. What's the ultimate? 50 down, 5 up. Sold. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll take it. So we did it all up, and he said, okay, let's get your modem talking. So he spent the next 30 minutes working with me on the brand new modem, getting all the bin information loaded to it, mm-hmm. and configured, and we got the network going, and sweet speed. It's awesome. Cool. At a third of what I was paying for business class, 2 days on the phone with these people. So,
hey, but you know what? It was worth it.
Well, it was, but I literally wasted 2 days of my vacation being on the phone with these people. So, my admonition to you folks out there, unless you absolutely have to, don't get business class service. Just pay for a decent residential package. It's much more worth it. If you're doing something that you think requires static IP, find any way you can to not have to have static IP address.
Yeah. So, go web hosting.
I'm telling you, that's what I was doing. That was the whole issue.
And the thing with me is I know that it's the modem because it's a cheap modem. You can tell.
Yeah, that is too.
And the thing is that
get your own.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting my own.
Go to Walmart.
But I kind of figured something out today that I noticed, like, because I had twice where it dropped, where my son is on my PlayStation watching Netflix in the living room.
Okay, so that's Media Hog.
Okay, right. But then my son's over here in his room with his Xbox playing a game on Xbox Live. So they're both on wireless.
Oh, they're killing your poor internet.
Exactly. So I'm over here on my iPad trying to watch a YouTube video, and it's like buffering, and then it just drops. And so I think that's exactly what
Let me tell you, I strongly suggest that where you can wire, go wired. Leave the things that are wireless, the things that you really are going to be mobile with. Mm-hmm. The way we have things set up here is We've got the modem. This is going like way into the geek weeds for you folks out there. But we can certainly give you lots of suggestions if you're looking to really enhance your media, internet, and all that stuff at your house. But have the modem going to my main router because it's doing all the DHCP stuff for the local, which is feeding addresses so each of your devices know who they are and where they are. And then, and that's only got 4 ports available.
Right.
Okay. So obviously this machine, because it absolutely has to have the fastest network, and your wired network, your wired Ethernet is always going to be faster because most of your more modern routers and computers can support a full 1 gig speed. Older devices use either the 10 or the 100 megabits per second, but your newer machines are going to use a full 1 gigabit wired. But depending on your wireless, you're getting 11 megabits to 24 megabits maybe with wireless. So, which is fine in most cases, but if you're doing something that's really, really media intensive, especially from multiple people, it's just going to eat your lunch. So I have our main router here, and I've got this server or this machine, our server physically connected to it, and I've got our main printer connected to it because it also does faxing and has storage, all that. And then then I have that connected to a smart switch, which then is just boosting. And then that's feeding also the secondary router, which happens to be at our home entertainment system. That's extending our wireless so that my wife, who is at the opposite end of the house, gets a decent signal from her machine because she's using a laptop, mostly for browsing, a little bit of Netflix in here and there, but not too much because she's got satellite in there too. So the Wi-Fi is perfect for her in there. But she needed a decent signal. But connected to that one hardwired is our satellite, so it can get all the updates faster. Plus, you can do a lot of the little BD Live stuff and everything. If you're, and then also the Xbox One is physically attached to it. So those are taking advantage of the full capable speed of the hardware. So if there's a way for you to wire your console, strongly suggest that will save your bacon and that will open up your Wi-Fi to.
You see, but what I'm thinking about doing is I'm actually, even though I don't do as much as you're doing, I still like getting on the internet and getting my stuff quick. So what I'm thinking about doing is upping my, and I do have residential, by the way.
Yeah.
So it'll be easy for me. I'm thinking about just upping my service.
Yep.
And then actually physically connecting the Xbox and my PlayStation so that I don't have this issue.
Yep.
And then I'm also thinking about moving. Remember, I had actually talked to you to do the same thing you guys did over here. Put another wireless router in the front of the house because my main one is actually in the back.
Oh, okay.
So put one over there to increase the signal to the front of the house.
Yeah.
And since it's going to be right there close to the Xbox, I'll just connect them
directly
to the router.
Problem solved.
And I'm thinking that'll do it.
Yep, that is the ticket. So, yeah, that's going to be the best way to do it. So, hope those of you watching this either live or on YouTube later learn from my juggernauts. So that was my ordeal with Time Warner Cable. So ultimately, I was very thankful for the two persons who got a solution for me. Sometimes all it takes is just getting the right people.
Yeah.
Getting the right people. All right. So I do a lot of iHeartRadio stuff, especially going to and from work. It's perfect. Just throw that on there and just and listen to iHeartRadio. I have some favorites and stuff. And one of the stations I listen to is 960 The Patriot. And I happened across a show that they play every Sunday, 4 p.m. called Dive Zone Radio. It's just a little hour-long show, but it's pretty good. I mean, some of it is because it's out of Arizona. That station is out of Arizona. So there's some, kind of like what we do, there's some local stuff, but also they got some pretty good information that they regurgitate and share and about dive news and that kind of thing. And so I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool that they have an actual dive show on an internet radio station like that. As opposed to, typical talk radio has, because this is a talk radio station, typical talk radio will have political programs.
Right.
Or religious programs, stuff like that, or, the kinds that I listen to. So I was really shocked to hear that. I was like, oh, this is cool. So that kind of got me digging into some resources that are out there that I've hit every now and then when I think about it. And one of the ones I've got a T-shirt for, as a matter of fact, is... by the way, if you want to check that out, just go on iHeartRadio. Just check out 960 The Patriot. And on Sunday afternoons, 4 p.m. Central... you can hear Dive Zone Radio. It's a nice little program if you're cruising around in the afternoon and got your smartphone or tablet or whatever. But Scuba Radio, well known.
Yeah, I have a shirt for that.
As a matter of fact, yeah, me too. As a matter of fact, let me switch to this screen region. So here's the website for 960 The Patriot. So you can actually see what other shows that they have. But there it is, Dive Zone Radio with Mark Hedrich and Lou Edwards. Pretty good show. Now, Scuba Radio, well-known place among divers. But if you're new to the sport or interested checking out, very entertaining. Dive Master Greg is kind of funny. He and his cohorts, they do a lot of travel, a lot of diving all over the place. So they share a lot of those experiences, and they talk about different like DEMA and Surf World, and all these different things that they, when that's the only thing you have to do in life, you get to go take advantage of.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. So just check out scubaradio.com. You can see a lot of information they have. Now, the neat thing is, while you can listen to them, their regular live cast is Saturdays Eastern, 3:00 Eastern. But you can go to the listen area and you can actually catch up on previous podcasts. Now, it's Scuba Radio, so it's audio podcast. Whereas for us, we do something similar. I mean, it's not audio, it's just video. So you can catch us after the fact on YouTube. But Scuba Radio is pretty awesome. They get a lot of sponsors and do a lot of sponsorships for various. As a matter of fact, they've been involved for a number of years with Trash Fest.
Yeah.
In out of Santan, New Braunfels by San Antonio, which they didn't have that this last year.
I noticed
they canceled that.
I noticed that. Do you know any reason why?
It's my understanding, and I could be wrong about this. It's my understanding that it got canceled because the new ordinances that got passed earlier in the year prohibiting all sorts of containers. Because one of the big things about the Comal River, the Trash Fest, for those who don't know, is held along the Comal River there, San Antonio / New Braunfels, and there's always tons of stuff there. Well, there typically is tons of stuff there, but because of the new ordinances they passed for people
tubing
and picnicking along the Comal, there was just a lot less trash, and not that it was pristine, because I'm sure you can always find stuff sitting in the bottom, people driving by and tossing stuff in there,
right,
or stuff washing down from upstream. But they said it was just too clean to hold it. So this may, if that ordinance holds, because it raised a lot of issues with people who popularized tubing down there, and it's actually curtailed the business of tubing.
Yeah, I remember with the new ordinances, some of the business like they rent the tubes and stuff like that were like, well, this is gonna hurt my business because now people aren't gonna want to come out here. And I remember about that. Yeah.
So it may turn out that a longer time span of accumulation of waste in the Comal River and surrounding if they continue Trash Fest, it may be like a biannual thing. Every 2 years they do it, which is a shame because it was kind of fun. You look forward to it every year. A lot of teams from all over the country would come to participate. because there's a lot of sponsorships, lots of prizes for things to participate in that. But when you make it every 2 years, kind of out of sight, out of mind, I think it may lose some of its popularity.
I know that you and Tara participated in it once.
Yeah.
But there are also people that come from other countries too.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So yeah, it was well known, and it is well known. It was a big deal, and there are people that come from all over.
Yeah.
So it was pretty popular event.
Yep. So another site is scubanation.com. Now they are actually affiliated with Sun Sports, which is a Fox Sports channel out of Florida, if my memory serves. And you can also, they are also part of the DirecTV and Dish TV's enhanced sports package.
Oh, okay.
So that's a program that you can check out there. As a matter of fact, let me switch again to the screen region. Here's their website. Just go to scubanation.com. And it's another case where you can kind of catch previous episodes. Pretty nice setup here. They're sponsored by Leisure Pro. We talk about Leisure Pro a lot.
All the time.
Love them. So they have a number of good programs. That's hosted by Mitch and Billy C. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up episodes. What was the one I was looking at earlier? Click here to view. This is hilarious. Make sure it's not too loud. Now, this commercial trips me out.
This regulator on leisurePro.com looks like the one I want, but I'm not sure how to adjust the airflow.
Look,
What?
we have a chat interface. You can talk to a dive expert 24 hours a day.
At leisurePro.com, you could get the product answers you need fast by chatting with our dive experts anytime.
And that is true.
Yeah, it is true. I was about to say that.
So anyway, that's the website. It's a pretty good site. They're very enthusiastic. Mitch and Billy C. They get to do again another case where if that's all you have to do, you get to go a lot of places, do a lot of things, and share some pretty awesome diving experiences and great videos and things like that. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see that show on the big satellite. So
yeah.
So anyway, that's scubanation.com. Pretty awesome. I saw that Leisure Pro commercial, and I'm thinking, you're a certified diver, and it looks like the one I want, but I'm not sure how to adjust the airflow. And of course, he's had it zoomed in, showing the actual dial that you adjust that on. You got to be real green to not know what you're looking. Why would you want that particular one if you don't know what it's?
This is the one that I want, but I'm not sure how to adjust it. It's like me buying the Legend because that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So that I could adjust the airflow. It's like me saying that's like the one that I want, but I don't know how to adjust the air.
Or buying the BC, the i3, and how does the lever work?
How does the lever work? Do I go if I push it down? Do I go down, or if I push it up, do I go up?
I would have liked to have seen Leisure Pro, who have great folks there and a great setup. I would have liked them to have chosen a more realistic, less insulting scenario for someone requesting help.
You know, something like perhaps maybe a wetsuit. Hey, is this thing true to size?
Exactly. Those are the kinds of things that you would typically ask about.
Does it run long or does it run short? You know,
exactly.
You know, I'm a 210-pound guy.
Right.
You know, is this true to size or is it a little bit bigger? You know, something like that. But they do. They are awesome there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. Check that out, scubanation.com. Now, the last one I don't go here very often because this is more of this organization is kind of more about like a what am I looking for? They do a lot of programs with like for schools and clubs and things like this. So they're more of that would be the kind of group that you would partner with to do something rather than more information. But they do have some good information, and this is good for those of us who are Star Trek fans.
Yeah, I'm a member of actually this club.
And this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Roddenberry Dive Team. Rod Roddenberry, who is the son of Majel Barrett and Gene Roddenberry, the great bird of the galaxy, who now both of them are passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He is an avid scuba diver.
Right.
And so they've got an awesome site, roddenberrydiveteam.com, where they've got a number of different activities, competitions you can be involved in. They're kind of affiliated with NAUI, but we won't hold that against them.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I don't like. Remember I had told you about this site a long time ago. Well, at the time, I don't know what I did. I did something on the website, and I ended up going to where you can register to be part of their club. There was a fee. I think there was a $20 fee at the time.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, when I input my email address and some contact information,
Right.
and I didn't think anything of it. Well, about a month after I did that, I got this package in the mail, and it was saying that I had been accepted to the dive club or their team
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
They sent me that huge patch that you see off to the.
Let me bring up the screen region here.
Okay, the one is to the far right. That
This one?
Yeah, it's huge. Like you can put on the back of a jacket. It's about this big.
Oh no, that's cool. Okay, I need to sign up.
Okay, and then I also they gave me one of the dive stickers that says, it's got to the left.
As a matter of fact, let me go to, I think it's resources. No, media. Where was it? Where did I see that? Where did I see that? Was it the store? No. Where did I see that? There is a link where they have like their logos and stuff.
Yeah.
Media. There we go. So this is what you got for the big monster.
Right, it's huge. And then I got a sticker of each. I got a sticker of that one. No, I got a sticker of that one, and then I've got a patch of the other one.
Of this one.
Yeah, that goes like on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's small.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still in their plastic package.
I am shocked you have not adorned yourself with those somehow.
No, and anyway, and I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna get a bill, for the thing. No, I get publication and little things like that.
Cool.
Yeah, and this was about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 years, maybe 4 years ago when I first saw it.
Yeah.
They do a lot of stuff about about ocean.
Yeah.
What's the word? Gosh.
Conservation.
Yeah, there you go. The
and-
ocean
yeah,
conservation
yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, they are associated with NAUI, and they do have some stuff, some interesting information.
Yeah.
Their emails come out every 2 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
I get an email from them about they're going to be diving. They always dive, of course, around San Diego and everything. So they do dry suit diving. And Gene, which is the son. What's his name?
Rod Roddenberry.
Yeah, Rod. He tends to always be at these functions, so it draws out a pretty big crowd. Yeah, his name is Eugene. He's named after the dad. So
Nice.
it's a
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
and he's a big time avid diver.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
huge.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah. So
Join
and
now.
since he is the son of the creator of the show, he's got rights to the logos and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty cool.
And not only that, they actually sell some of the Star Trek toys.
Do they really? Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the store is down. Otherwise, I would check. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
they have of course, if you can afford it, on there when the store's up, they have some of the dilithium crystals and
What?
stuff like that have actually been used
in the show.
in the movies or in the show. And they're in
Okay.
little containers, but they do cost some money because you do get a letter of authenticity saying
Wow.
that they were actually physically used in the making of a movie or whatever.
That's pretty cool.
It
I
is.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
I think
awesome.
for a little block of the dilithium crystals they go about $200, and it's in a little container, and They were actually used in the movie.
So this is what that patch looks like on the shirt.
It's big.
That's huge.
It's huge.
That's monstrous. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's gargantuan.
Yeah, it's like for a jacket or something. It's
and then there's the sweater or whatever with the smaller patch on.
The little patch actually is, you could probably sew that on a shirt because it's small. But that other thing is so big that it's like for a jacket.
So you can be a red shirt or a blue shirt or a yellow shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. How much are those? Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you're paying
$25.
You're paying, I think, for just the the fact that it's an authentic.
Yeah.
An
But I mean, those are not bad prices there.
Yeah.
Cool. Very awesome.
For those of us that are into Star Trek, like Rob and I, it's my favorite show.
Yes.
Yes. Something like this is awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right. So.
And then of course the dry suits they have the dry suits.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, those.
Of course, we've seen some of these.
Yeah, those.
The regular wetsuits.
Those things are high dollar though.
No, those are not cheap.
No.
$1,000 basically.
Yeah, pretty much. You're looking about $800-900 for that dry suit.
Speaking of that, today would have been a perfect day to do a dive. I was so disappointed when of course, I was so involved in doing stuff that we were trying to get all the Christmas stuff down. This is our weekend to do all that, and I stepped outside to do, working on stuff in the shed because we were moving stuff in and out, and I just took a moment while the dogs were kind of goofing off to realize there's no wind. It's nice and warm, and it's sunny. I should be diving. This would have been a beautiful day to dive. Tomorrow might be as good. I need to get a dive. I need to get a dive in before the month is up.
Before the month
is up.
Actually, this whole next week it's supposed to be nice.
Well, unfortunately, I'm working all week.
Yeah.
We've got a 3-day weekend coming up.
Yeah.
But
actually, on Monday we have to. It's a work day for us. There's no kids. There's no school.
What do they call that? In-service?
Yeah, an in-service day. There's no school, but we got to work.
Ouch. That's a
Yeah.
bummer.
It's pretty cool because really just kind of bum around, but still we're there.
Yeah. Well, interesting news. Every once in a while I check out different studies and stuff that Divers Alert Network has, Dan. And one I ran across, I was like flipping through some of them because if the certain topics I don't care about them because I don't have diabetes, so I don't necessarily care specifically unless somebody asks me, what about if you have diabetes, can you dive? I look for stuff that might be pertinent to me, and I'm flipping through the different studies that they'd done or were reporting on, and one caught my eye that evidently a recent study on the effects of Viagra or Cialis on diving, it evidently, there's indications that it increases your risk for oxygen toxicity.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it increases blood flow to certain parts of the male body. But apparently that increased blood flow also means you've got more oxygen being moved.
Right, through the body.
Yeah, and so it's creating chemically, I guess, the same effect as excessive exercise. Because they tell you should not do a bunch of exercise prior to diving, because if you increase your metabolism, you're actually going to increase your blood flow, which means you're going to increase the oxygen movement in your system, which means that you can experience oxygen toxicity at lower levels than you normally would. So I guess under the same effect is chemically created by taking Viagra or Cialis. So, not that I'm taking any of that, but I just, when you're skimming through and you're like, wait a minute, what? That's not the kind of thing that you would expect to.
Well,
like,
because, well, you know what? I'm kind of glad that Dan actually did, or they did something like that, because of the very popular use of this pill now.
Very prolific, especially
know,
people my age or older.
You have not only that. I've actually have heard that people younger than than me are actually
good grief.
using those kind of drugs, for, enhancements. Anyway, the problem is, though, they've just gotten so popular and so easy to obtain that everybody's like, oh, okay, great. And then they want to do some type of activity.
Yikes.
So I guess
wow,
that might be... Is that going to be one of the medical questions?
Yeah,
now?
really. Are you taking Viagra or Cialis? Yeah.
If you are, you're going to have to stop the use for at least the next 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, before diving.
Before diving.
Or don't do any activity. Wow. So for those who may not be familiar with what oxygen, you've heard of in diving. You've probably heard of, even if you're not a diver, you've probably heard of getting narked or nitrogen narcosis or rapture of the deep, and that's actually the more common thing you'll see people get affected by. Oxygen toxicity is more of a concern for divers who use enriched air, which means that they're diving with a higher partial pressure of oxygen in their tank instead of the standard 79-21% split that we breathe every day. Some of the symptoms of oxygen toxicity are muscle spasms or convulsions, nausea, vomiting. You can have tunnel vision, actually damage your eyes, tinnitus, makes them super sensitive, trouble breathing because it's really doing a number on your lungs. That too much oxygen is actually too intense for your lungs. Unusual fatigue, you lose coordination. But the most common thing you see from people who are experiencing it, as a diver, if you see somebody convulsing, then you can pretty much guarantee they're probably experiencing oxygen toxicity. They probably were diving in enriched air, which means they have higher percentage of oxygen in the tank, and probably went too deep.
Right. I actually if you guys have ever seen the movie The Abyss, you see that actually happen in one of the scenes when they're going into a sunken submarine. One of the divers gets spooked and sees some light and hits his regulator in the back, and since they're diving with mixed gas, actually his levels get twisted. So when they find him, he's convulsing. Right. And that's pretty much what you're talking about, because he got the mixture of his air, his gases mixed up.
Yeah, because they were doing rebreathers.
Right.
Yeah.
They were using mixture of gases. Yeah. And so his gases got mixed up, and he had too much of one thing, and there you go.
Yep. So the title of the episode, as we wind down here, is By Belize. We watch the Blaze TV a lot, and we've seen these commercials in other places, but they actually do the live commercials, and it seems like everywhere I turn, somebody is hawking that you should buy property in Belize. Now,
John McAfee did.
Yeah, that is exactly. Well, see, that is an extremely popular dive location, and that's where Tara and I would like to go this year is go to Belize. That's kind of been on our list for a while. And so I was doing some research. I'm like, okay, well, what is the deal here? There's lots of positive things about the area. They're English speaking. Mm-hmm. They are their government is set up very similar to ours. Of course, it's tropical paradise.
That's right.
And everybody who's advertising to buy Belize saying that the market's really good for buying houses and property. So I decided to do a little bit of research to see what that looks like. And really, they're pretty much spot on with like buying places around here, considering that they're a tropical paradise. This was just kind of a somewhat typical place. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 1,200 square feet.
That's
or 12,000 square feet or square yards of land.
That's a big
area.
Yeah.
High wood ceilings, kitchen, living room area, overlooking a spacious lot with fruit trees such as banana, coconut, and sour sap. 5 minutes from the airport and shopping areas. Private in an exclusive private estate called Lake Gardens. 150,000 US.
Not bad.
That's, I mean, you see, matter of fact, the house that we have now, had we not contacted to let them get it under control, actually would be pushing 100,000 for this house.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it for 50.
Yeah.
And that's after the collapse.
Well, it's like our house. We bought it. It was, I think we got it for 78. And then of course after we bought it, we had it appraised for the insurance.
Yeah.
And when he went in there, it's actually valued at about 160,000.
Yeah, this is a nice looking. I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's pretty. It's very pretty.
4-bedroom house.
Yeah. On a tropical island. That would be okay.
I can picture a little Weber barbecue.
There
outside
you go. Yeah.
After a dive on the blue hole.
That's it. That's it. So, starting to research. Bobby's just checking in. She said it's a lovely area. It's a lovely area. Let's see. Pull her up on the face space here. Well, she texted me. She needs to put it in the actual chat. Come on, Bobby. She's texting me directly. Put it on Facebook. Because we're watching that. So what does she say? Bobby Love says, I'm bummed your chat's... It's not my chat. Our chat does work. My social stream appears to be working. Well, let me switch to the social stream. Let me see if we're doing anything. No, last thing I show from the social stream is from 34 days ago. Yeah, I don't see anything in there. Oh, okay, there's a thing for new messages. Let's see what it does. If your dive lasts longer than 4 hours. Okay, yeah, we see that, Bobby. I don't understand why your chat doesn't work. I'll need to work with you to see what's going on with that because it works fine for me. So, yeah, it is a beautiful area and, of course, awesome diving. So I was doing some research on, approximately what do prices look like? Having done the all-inclusives in Cozumel, which is very reasonable there, I kind of wanted to at least start on the high end and see what that looked like. So for 7 nights, and obviously 6 days of diving, for an all-inclusive, average $1,600 per person. Which isn't bad. It actually cost us closer to $2,000 in Cozumel.
Yeah.
For non-all-inclusives, you're looking at closer to like $1,100 per person, and that includes all the diving and everything. Flights are more reasonable than I thought they were going to be, given prices. About $830 per person.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and it's basically it's a hour-and-a-half flight. So. We definitely are going to be putting that on our list. Unfortunately, it looks like we will not be going with. Trisha and Gay on this trip because I think they mentioned they're planning a big trip to Colorado or something. I'm like, there's no diving there, so
there's no diving.
So I'm not interested in doing that. We want to go diving, and Belize is just high on our list.
Now, are they going because they changed legislation over there?
Yeah, oh, no. No. Oh, God. I've been reading up on all that disaster. It's just a mess up there.
Yeah, and you know what? They're just, they're opening themselves up to just really ruin a lot of stuff over
society.
There. Yeah.
And now there's rumors that the cartels may be trying to muscle in on there. Well, can you imagine set up a protection racket?
Well, the thing is because they legalized marijuana, and
right. Stupid.
Now people are going to try to grow it, and they're going to say, well, where did you have? Well, have a script for it or whatever, and it's just, I don't know.
To me,
I just think it's
just dumb.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. So anyway, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty reasonable trip to do Belize. So we'll have to, we did already get our W-2s, so now we just got to kind of get an idea after Obamacare kills us if we have any money left for our tax return to do this trip. So we'll be working up for that. Let's as we wind down here. Let's hit the administrivia. We're coming up next week is our first dive club meeting for the year. I'll have to make sure our praise teams at church know that we won't have practice that night.
See me out there with my sweet baby
Sweet
Rays.
baby Rays. Man, matter of fact, we had our monthly men's breakfast there this morning, and they have some pretty good breakfast tacos.
Tacos, yeah.
Yeah, had the bacon and egg.
Bacon and egg.
Yeah, good stuff. So, but I love their barbecue. So we'll be looking forward to that. 7 p.m. at Rudy's Restaurant in Del Rio, Texas, 16 January. Again, dive classes by special request and lots of money as well. I'll be finalizing target dates for classes, as well as we'll probably discuss at the meeting some potential dates for Balmaray.
Yes.
Balmaray trips. Got to do a bunch of those.
I'm actually really looking forward to it because I know that they redid the cabins and they redid a lot of, because they were a little dated.
Yes.
They were a little dated. Probably Jim Bowie himself stayed in those things.
Nice.
But still nice area, nice place.
Yeah.
Great place to just get away.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
You just want unwind and just get away. It's nice. And then of course you get to dive.
lot.
And then hang out with us. So
and do a dusk dive.
Yeah. Oh, the dusk dive.
You might have an encounter with the pervy turtle.
Yeah, the pervy turtle. Nickname.
Yeah, pervy turtle. So anyway, be sure to stop by our website, delriodiveclub.com, or visit us on Facebook /Del Rio Dive Club, or send us a message on Skype at TGWD, which stands for Two Guys Who Dive. And if you'd like to interface with Scuba Bob, you can follow him on the Twitter at rsgarza435, or send him a email.
Yeah, I do read my email.
He does. All by him little lonesome. He doesn't have his wife or kids read him for him. He does it all himself.
I don't have an assistant.
That's right. Because on what we get paid, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's rsgarza821 at yahoo.com. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at RobertCFP, or send me an email, robert.wade@cetifox.net. We have such a great time doing this show here. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, I always want to keep doing a little plug for these folks. Monday we'll be helping out at A Pet's Wish, and they're still looking for folks who can dedicate preferably a regular time slot, and they'll plug you in wherever you can. And then, or if you can be available to help out when they do various adoption events. Right. Some of those events are held at the mall. Some of them are held at their location there next to the Emporium downtown on Main Street. And sometimes, once in a while, they'll go to San Antonio.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. They're always looking for help and supplies, because they go through lots of kitty litter. They go through lots of dog food and cat food and cleaning supplies. And of course the vet bills. They need help with those too. So. If you have an opportunity to help out and you are in the Del Rio area, please stop by A Pet's Wish. They're right downtown. If you go on Main Street, look for the Paul Polk Theater, and then just go the next block down, you'll see them right next door to the Emporium, which has got some of the best shakes in town. Let me tell you,
the chocolate shake for me, it just rocks.
It's old school. I mean, that's the old soda jerk kind of setup. It's pretty cool. I love going in that place. A bit of nostalgia. So, as always, we love interfacing with you folks here on the show, and we like to hear from you if you see the show on YouTube. And if you got anything going on next weekend, are you going to be available for the show?
I don't have anything planned. I think I'll be here.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so you can catch us, both of us here. Oh, another text notification. Need help and fence too. What, she needs help, Bobby? Oh, they need a fence. Yes, well, they're working on that. They have to build a fence around where the runs are. The dog runs are out
in the back.
Yeah, they have to build a fence.
Okay.
So.
You have just been texted by Robert Carter.
Why are you texting me?
I sent you a cool photo.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. That is an awesome picture.
Yeah, we're over here looking to the front. Check out the back.
That's right. That is an awesome picture. So anyway, we love to hear from you guys, and please stop by Ustream TV and check us out next week on another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive. See ya.